Hey guys, just a quick one. We've still got a fair bit of misunderstandings or misconceptions, or I don't know what to call it really, in regards to chips, remaps, tunes, whatever you want to call it. So we'll quickly run through what those things are. We won't waste too much time on it. We've spoken about these things before, and I want to be clear, it's not going to make any difference to me. I don't care whether you do a remap, a chip, or a tune on your vehicle. So I don't care. It doesn't bother me. You can do what you want. I give advice and information based on experience for people to look after their vehicles. We own Prados, we've owned Hiluxes, we've owned Toyotas. That's what we use for touring the outback of Australia on our touring trips. And we choose the best, most reliable vehicles, okay? So it's not the worst one, it's the best one. There's a lot of misconceptions. People start, someone put a comment the other day and said, these things, you're putting up videos of them falling apart every day. And that was on a comment on a video where I replaced some $5 plastic clips that had been in the hot engine bay of a 13-year-old 120 Prado, right, for 400,000 Ks, right? And we showed you how to replace some clips. I think it's called replace these cheap and easy, and that's exactly what it is, cheap and easy. You didn't have to replace them, but plastic deteriorates over time. Tell you what, if you think that's rubbish, wait till you see some of these other cars a lot sooner, a lot worse. But anyway, back onto this subject, right? Now, a chip is a piece of plastic with a few electrical components in a box that's got preset changes to how the vehicle runs. That's to put it as simple as I can. Costs you anything from quite a few $100 to well over $1,000, depending what brand it is. And there's a lot, these ones are good and these ones, I don't give a stuff which one's good and which one's not. Simple as this, right? If there was quite a few thousand vehicles that we look after, talk to owners, communicate people with on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, out of all these people, most people don't have chips, tunes and remaps because they listen to the advice, because for years we've seen the damage these cause, okay? And that's why we've got this in the picture, okay? We'll get to that. It's the best looking thing. You don't need to look at me. We can look at me in other videos. In the VIP group, you want to look at me, just put a post up saying, mate, can you please do a video because I just want to look at you. Okay, we can do that too. But right here, this is the best looking thing. This is beautiful. Look at this, eh? Anyway, ideally you don't want to have to use these, but if you want to use, I can sell you these, whatever. I can sell you these, I can sell you a whole engine, I can put it in for you, whatever you want. We got ways to get all these things done. Now, I can obviously make a lot more money if I just buy a dyno, some software, and I can do tunes. So I can be the best tuner in the world, okay? Maybe the best tuner, mate. Yeah, mate, he's the man, that Anthony Prado, mate. Go to him, mate. Mate, I could make heaps of money, right? A lot easier than anything else I do, probably, okay? Seems to be easy money. You've got to be able to do the basics first, and you've got to understand. On some engines, you can get away. Look, any engine that you add more power to, let's go back to the basics. If you add more power, more torque, that's more force on the piston, right? More force. How many times does this piston get forced? Have a think about it, right? Have a think about where they crack. Doesn't matter what brand, right? Doesn't matter what brand it is, right? You've seen the range. Did you see the Ranger one they put up? FOMOCO. You know what FOMOCO is? Ford Motor Company. FOMOCO. Doesn't matter, right? Those engines, those pistons.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Sorry guys, I was just getting excited and the phone rang. Anyway, the point is, right, you have a think about how often that happens and how the Ranger and the Ranger engines are newer and the pistons are newer and how they crack exactly the same, and it looks like one of these pistons when you see one in a photo. If you didn't know better, you'd actually be browsing around the internet and go, oh, another one of those 1KDs. No, it's not all 1KDs. Remember, the 1KDs are the majority of the vehicles out there, and they've been out there since about 2005 in Australia. That's 15 years, a lot longer than any of these other crap heaps. And you know what? There's a lot more of them. So, if you've got the big numbers, you're going to see a few, okay? Now, there's reasons why we've been through that, but some people missed it. And some people, they just don't watch the videos. So they're clueless. They've got no idea. They're at their own disadvantage already because they go, oh, I'm too busy or something like that, right? In our videos is the authentic, genuine information. Trying to show you, right? I'm spending my time showing you how to prevent the issues. Okay, so let's keep it simple. I don't care if it's a chip that plugs in that makes more power or torque. makes it blow smoke, makes it look like a Nissan. I don't care if it's a piggyback computer, a HKS or a Unichip. I don't care who's tuned it. You know, some people seem to believe the crap that, we're these cowboy tuners and they just, upload a program, and that's true, some of them do that. But wasn't the program done by someone that was supposed to know what they were doing? And what are you trying to tell me? That one car is so much different to the other? A Prado's a Prado, Hilux is a Hilux, slightly different this and that, but there's a whatever, okay? It's a 4-cylinder engine. Let me put it to you this way. Years ago, a 6-cylinder engine that was around 4.5 litres, they only put out about 70 kilowatts in a diesel. Now, the 1KD, 130 kilowatts, so about double the power, and the engines take about 30-40% of the cubic displacement away. What do you think's going to happen, right? Something's got to give. Okay, so in my opinion, the 1KD is tuned pretty close to the max as it is standard, right? Okay, standard out of the box, right? Just think of it, the 1KZ, what was that? Less than 100 kilo, whatever, right? So same bottom end, 3 litre, 4-cylinder, very similar, not same, but similar, right? Different head induction system, fuel system, more power, more torque. It's maxed out, guys. It's pretty simple stuff. Now, so if you had a whole heap of people with these, without a chip or a churn, and they don't have problems, and then you've got a handful of people, let's say you've got 10, 20, 30, and you got, 5, 10 or 15 all eventually cracking pistons, and usually prematurely 20,000, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 Ks after a chip or a tune or a remap. So you've got small numbers of people with those, right? And they're cracking pistons, and you've got gazillions, thousands of people without that having no problems. For years, every time someone rings me and says, mate, I'm wondering if you can help me out. I think I've got a cracked piston. Sorry, but the first question I used to ask was, about checking the oil pickup, because there was a lot more of that. People seem to understand that now. That's good. We're getting around that, guys. And if you don't understand it, get yourself educated. Watch my videos. Go and watch them all. Don't start asking questions because you watch 1, 2, 3, or 5. Watch all the videos. Search the channel. What do you want to know about? Use the word search it. Anyway, the first question I always have asked for years, right? Do you have a chip? Because chips used to be popular. Now it's, do you have a chip or a tune? A remap, whatever. I don't care if you call it a tune or remap. That's someone getting into the ECU, whether it's a piggyback computer or not, changing things because they're better at it than Captain Toyota. The 10th biggest company in the world, biggest car manufacturer and all that, been around for ages. The one that does that much R&D research, and they really, when there's a problem, they look into it and they solve the problem, all right? And they try and make these stronger. The 110s were, well, I don't know if it's the latest revision. I heard there's a 130, but look, you can make things stronger and better, but it's kind of like when you've got a small engine. I'm not going to try and explain. I'll explain in other videos. What I'm trying to say is, though, it's not about, was that, about the tuning? Well, they talk about tuning like, the AFRs and, heat and melting pistons. These engines don't melt pistons. It's not about that, right? It doesn't matter about the tuning. It's just a mild tuner. I don't care, right? All that matters to me is the statistics. My statistics are, right? People that don't have chips, tunes, remaps or anything generally don't have problems, subject to, I'll get to that. And people that have got the extra force on the piston, bang, right, are the ones, very high percentage. Out of the people I know, I've got people that they secretly get a remap and they don't tell me, and then someone they know tells me, didn't you know? Don't tell him I told you. This sort of thing, right? And they premature failure, right? Yeah, with good injectors been replaced, and then went and got the remap a little while later, and boof, no good. Now, the only other precaution is, obviously, as I've said, is changing these squirters regularly. And when I say regularly, some people say every, 100,000 Ks. No, too much. That's a waste, mate. I'd love to just go along with that rubbish, and I'll sell you a set of injectors every 100,000. Look, if you want to do that, you can do that, but I recommend against it, depending on what vehicle, okay? I'm going to give you, said it earlier, genuine, authentic advice. I don't want to sell you a set of injectors if you don't need them. I want to sell you a set of injectors, yes, because I don't want the phone call going, I replaced my injectors and now I've got, I don't want that, right? When you use my injectors, my kit, my fuel pipe procedures, all the genuine parts, get in the VIP group, watch the video, then you don't have any problems when it's done like that. And then for the very few, if there is 1, 2 or 3 out of 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000, that's usually because A, the injectors were left in too long and damage had already started. And then shortly afterwards look, this is my take on it. The cracks, it's not like a switch. It doesn't just go, it's perfect like that, and then it goes, boof, cracked. The cracks, it's fatigue, right? It cracks so you could have a crack all the way across, and it's until it blows that hole through there, you don't know about it. You might be using a bit of oil, and this video is partly to do with some posting on Facebook where there's a couple of people that they use oil and then it's found to be problems like this. So look, fingers crossed for these people it's not, but if you're using oil, these engines don't use oil. Look, we're going to keep it short. I hope I've covered that really. I mean, you know, can I be any clearer? Force on the piston. I don't care who did the tune, what chip it is, whether it's a proper tune or a remap or a cowboy tune or whatever, leave the damn thing alone. Fresh squirters, 7 years, 170, give or take. If you want more accurate information for your vehicle, send me the text message with your name, your vehicle, and I'll give you the personalised information, no charge. And it's up to you if you want to go ahead with it, guys. And then, of course, the last one, as I said, contamination. You can't control contamination. If you get water in your fuel and you don't know about it, it does go through filters, even extra filters. This video is not about filters. We've talked about in other videos. Water goes through filters, okay? Watch our other videos, guys. We're out of here. Bada bing, bada boom. That is a bada bing, bada boom. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, if you haven't already, subscribe, turn the bell on, and in the comments, have you cracked a piston or have you got a chip? We need some guinea pigs with chips. We need to know who you are, and please let us know once you crack your piston. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch ya.